English speakers, they can speak the English, but they don't know the English.
Oh
They
my
don't
gosh,
they,
so
yeah, they
true.
don't know the basics of the English. No,
So
it
true. Let
doesn't
me give
matter
you.
if, yeah, it doesn't matter if I'm from Pakistan. I know to speak Urdu, but it
Mm,
doesn't mean I would be aware of the grammar of the Urdu. I can sometimes speakers, the native speakers then can speak in English in a very well way. If we will ask them to read and write, they wouldn't able to read and write because they don't know how to read and write.
exactly. So what you're kind of
Yeah.
talking about is you can know whether something is correct or incorrect intuitively in your language because you were born into it. But when it comes to the
Exactly.
mechanics of it, you might not be able to explain the mechanics to even another Pakistani person, even if it's a family
Exactly.
member, because you know it intuitively. It doesn't make you any less of a person. But let me tell you,
Exactly right.
this
That's,
is like
yeah, 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 yeah.
common error in English, okay? It really annoys me because anyone who is a native English speaker with any basic level of education until age 16 makes some very common errors. For example, there's a common grammatical error which drives me crazy. Let me write for you. So we have like could have, we contract to could have. Okay. So could have becomes could have, should have becomes should have, and would have becomes would have. It drives me nuts, not for non-native English speakers, for native English speakers, when they take the contraction and they are mistaken. They say could of, would of, should of. And for a native English speaker, I just think, did you finish school? This is one of the most basic things. And what makes it worse is they're writing reports and policies with could of, would of, should of. No, 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 no. No, no, no. It's
Exactly.
acceptable for a while if a non-native English speaker does this because it's not their native language. But when you have had at least a basic education in English and you are native, this is, you shouldn't be making these errors, right? As a
Exactly.
native English speaker, but it happens.
It happens
Another
in
one,
every language.
it
In every
happens,
language, it
yeah,
happens.
exactly. So here's another example, and it's not grammar, it's vocabulary. It's people using the, and I will do the differentiation between three similar words in a second, okay? So I have heard native English speakers can use this word instead of this. Can you see?
Yeah.
What is your understanding of these two words? He worked hard, but he failed the exam. How we can rephrase it in different ways. Yeah, so you've studied for it technically and mechanically, but they don't understand how to manipulate it, right? That comes with time, with living in the culture, speaking to a lot of people in the culture or native English speakers and so on. That's exactly what it is. You see the two words that I wrote above, conscientious and conscious. Do you know these words?
I know conscious. I don't have. I hear first time this one.
Sorry.
Consciences.
So which one do you know, the first one or the second one?
Conscious. Second one. I know little bit.
Okay, so I there are actually three words which I'll do with you in a second that look similar and sound similar, but I'll treat them separately. But I've heard, as an example of native English speakers getting it incorrect, in terms of vocabulary, they're using conscientious instead of conscious. For example, if someone is trying to be mindful of another person's difficult times, okay, you should say, I'm very conscious that Tom is going through a difficult time, meaning you're mindful that he's having a hard time, he needs more sensitivity, he needs more help, etc., etc. So the word here is conscious. I am conscious that Tom is going through a difficult time, is number two, conscious. The amount of native English speakers that I hear say conscientious instead, which is hardworking. Okay, they say, I'm very conscientious that Tom is going through a difficult time. No, you're not conscientious, you're conscious. Okay, so this is what I want to teach you because there are three words that look similar and are pronounced in a very similar way. Give me a second, please. Where is it? Okay, so here are the words. Um, Here we go. You might know some of these already. I know you know conscious, but let's make them clear for you, okay? Here we go. Three words. Conscious, conscience, which looks like it's spelt conscience, but it's pronounced conscience, And number 3 is conscientious. So I know you know conscious, number 1. Do you know the other two?
No, only one, conscious
Okay.
awareness, that I know. Yeah.
Okay, so number 1, you're fine with conscious. It's about awareness, being mindful of other people, or in a medical sense, if you're conscious, it means you are awake. It's not like you've fainted or you're in a coma, in which case you would be unconscious. Okay? So we can have conscious in a medical sense like that, or conscious in a general sense like I'm aware or I'm mindful of your needs or of your circumstances. Okay? But number 2 and 3 are totally different. So number 2, conscience, is about morality, what is right and wrong. So you're trying to make a decision about something and you have the devil on one shoulder and the angel on the other saying, no, do this is good. No, do this because this is bad. That's what we call conscience. And sometimes we talk about people having a guilty conscience. Have you heard of this before? Phrase guilty conscience. Have you heard of this?
No, I haven't heard about it.
Okay. So this phrase refers to or means, like, for example, I'll give you an example. Imagine at work, someone has treated you, a colleague has treated you very badly. Okay, it doesn't matter what they've done, but they have mistreated you, and it's really upset you, and it's damaged your self-esteem, your self-confidence, and so on. But later on, that colleague starts to be really nice to you, might even get you a cup of tea, a cup of coffee, some cake, or whatever, just super nice to you. We could say in that situation, your colleague is treating you that way more positively because they have a guilty conscience. They feel guilty that before they treated you so badly for no reason.
Exactly.
So that's what we mean by a guilty conscience. So conscience generally, I didn't mean to introduce guilty conscience, but it's useful to expand your vocabulary. Conscience is about the moral sense of what is right, what is wrong. Okay? Hopefully everyone has a conscience, but I'm not convinced. Okay? Now, number 3, conscientious simply means, conscientious, that's longer, it's 4 syllables. By the way, when I write in slants, that's how we pronounce it phonetically. We don't actually spell it that way, obviously. Conscientious is about being hardworking and being diligent. For example, you are a conscientious employee. You work hard, you achieve all your goals, you submit reports in a timely manner. You work hard, you research things well, you research things thoroughly, you help other colleagues. You are conscientious and hardworking and diligent. Okay?
Right.
So you have 3, well, kind of 2 new words that come from 3, all in one go in one session. Conscious, to be aware or mindful. Conscience, which is about your sense of morality, what is right, what is wrong. And conscientious, which is hardworking. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Are you there? Do you hear me?
Yeah, I am here.
Okay. Sorry,
yeah,
I lost you for a while. I thought you cut out. Okay, any questions so far?
I have one question that if there is one sentence, he worked hard, but he failed the exam, right? How we can rephrase this sentence in different ways?
So he worked hard, but he failed the exam. Okay, so you could say, he is a conscientious student. However, he failed his exams. I will write for you. So he is a conscientious student, but he failed the exam. That's unfortunate. That's really annoying if someone has put in a lot of effort. So you could also say he put in a lot of effort into studying, but he failed his exam. Give me a second. Instead of studying, you can also say revising, because when you're revising for an exam, you're reviewing the material. So you could say, he put in a lot of effort into studying, or he put in a lot of effort into revising, but he failed his exam.
Okay. So we can
Okay.
use second sentence in the first as well, and the first in the last.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the first one where I've said he is conscientious, he's a conscientious student, that's more general. But it sounds
Mhm.
like you want to be more specific, saying that he worked specifically hard for this exam, but he failed. In which case, it would be better off